to Positive, another wonderful episode held by the Queen's School. Don't only view us, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Today, we're going to speak with one of the prodigies of the Queen's School. She came here as a princess and graduated as a queen. Her name is Ashomoy Blair. She spent 7 years here at the Queen's School and she is a dynamic queen. So, get yourselves comfortable because we're going to have a little chit-chat with Ashomoy. Welcome, Ashomoy, to Positive. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
Just great?
Honored to be here.
Oh, wonderful. Ashomoy, tell us a little about you, your childhood. Who was Ashomoy before she came to the Queen's School?
So, I was from the Walton Park community area, and I was living with my parents and my two other siblings with my grandmother. And at the time, I wasn't going to school, so I was just home. I started school when I was 7 years old, and I was the oldest one in my class. So even though I was one of the bright ones too, I was homeschooled also because I just get beaten spelling words. I couldn't spell scissors, so you may just get enough beating for that one. And then I went to my aunt in Portmore. My father was giving her money, so she was taking care of me. She was there, she bathed me, she washed my clothes and such. And I went back to my mom because my mom was like, "Mom, I'm gonna pick them for come live with me." And then my aunt sent me to her, and then I was there. She was kind of ill-treating me in a way because at the time she was like carrying her boyfriends, and I have to go to my grandmother's house, and they never have nowhere for me to sleep, so I did have to sleep on the ground with sheet and me and my little brother. Then early in the morning I have to wake up and then overcome bed, taking my uniform through the window and then going to school. And that was very hectic for me. Even though I was young and I didn't understand what it was until I am old now. So I moved back because I was crying to my father and said, "I don't want to go. I don't want to leave. I can't stay here." And my mother treated me so and such. So I went to Portmore and I was there with my sister. I realized that my sister was uncomfortable. I got uncomfortable also. I was mistreated, and she went away, she moved away, so I was there on my own. She was like my mother at the time when she was there in the house. And when she went away, I was, I didn't want to cry.
Because you felt by yourself?
Yeah.
You're alone? Alright.
Because it's my big sister, she's my best friend.
Yeah.
I tell her everything, and she gone. And while I was there, I was being ill-treated worse than her, even that. And while I was there, I couldn't use the fridge. I couldn't watch television because they said I'm not paying light bill. I didn't put any money to fix any fridge. And a lot of attitude, a lot of arguments in the house.
And this was at your aunt's house?
Yes, miss.
So, no matter where you were, whether you were in Portmore or you were with mommy, there was some form of ill treatment going on?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
So while I was there, my aunt and her child, they were like the mothers of the house, and they kind of talked to people in ways that it wasn't nice. And me, me has my attitude already, but at the same time, I try to keep my composure and have my little manners in it because I don't want to disrespect and then my father come and beat me. So while I was there now, they told me about light bill, water bill. I was talking to
Ashomoy, I don't mean to cut you, but what age were you at this stage?
I was 12 years old.
So you're just about to start Queens?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so remind me, what primary school did you go to?
St. Jude's Primary School.
And that's in the Walton Park area?
Yes, miss.
Okay. and you graduated. You did GSAT.
Yes, miss.
And how was that?
Well,
Under all those circumstances,
okay,
how did you manage GSAT?
While preparing for GSAT, I was with my mom.
Okay.
And then my sister was helping me, so I was to and from Waltham and Portmore. And I did Saturday classes and those stuff. And I passed. When I passed Queens, I started to cry because...
Was Queens one of the schools that you chose?
Yes.
Was it the first one?
No.
Which was your first choice? I wonder why. Anyway. So you passed for Queens?
Yes.
Yes. And how did that feel?
Well,
considering everything that you were going through, the back and forth, the abuse, how did it feel to know that you passed by a traditional high school, one of them that was on your list?
I was excited. My mother, most of all, was excited, and I wasn't really that excited as her, but she was proud, and she writes up in uniform, Queens to Boston, Queens to Boston. I said, yes. But even though it was immaculate, I wanted to go to. While at Queens now, in first form, I was bullied. They usually call me Shrek. This ugly beast in some transform something show, and those nasty names, and it troubled me a lot. And then in second form I was still bullied, and third form I was still bullied. But even though I was still a good student.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
So regardless of what the situation is or what the circumstances were, you still maintained your decorum, you were still who you are, and you are still able to get your great grades. So at this time, we're just going to take a break from Ashomoy, and we're going to take a tip from the guidance counselor, Mrs. O'Connor. So we'll soon come back, Ashomoy. Give us a second, and we're going to take a quick tip from Miss O'Connor from the guidance department. So we want to welcome at this time Mrs. O'Connor Turner. So I'm going to correct myself. It is Mrs. O'Connor Turner. She's one of 2 guidance counselors here at the Queen's School. Welcome to Positive, Mrs. Turner. During COVID, I realized that I'm short-tempered sometimes. I don't know if it's the hustle and bustle of COVID, always under a mask, can't see people's faces clearly, can't hear them clearly because, their sound is muffled under a mic. I can't get to touch and hug people like I usually do. So sometimes I think anger creeps into me much quicker than it usually does. Can you give us any tips on anger management?
All right, our discourse today is anger management. And the first thing you do is to calm yourself down. Put yourself in a calm position. Yes, whoosah, very good. Take a time out, which is very important. Cool it down a little, and then think about it before you talk about it. That is very important. Identify solutions. Students, my girls, please think about what you want to do first before you do it. And then one of the very good things, some people might find it a bit difficult to do that, but I think this is very important. Use humor to release tension.
You spoke about finding a humorous situation, but how do you find humor when you're in an annoyed and sticky position?
Well, for me, I just dance. Sometimes what that does is to keep that person calm.
I love it. So to keep our anxiety and the anger down, calm ourselves, take a time out. Sometimes a time out means shutting off, shutting down, and then think about our actions carefully, because your actions can follow you for the rest of your life. And then make a light humor of the situation to keep that smile on your face. That's a really positive thought, and I love it. Thank you, Mrs. Turner. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
So right now, we're actually going back, and we're going to talk to Ashomoy, and we're going to go into her school life here at the Queen's School. Welcome back to Positive, Ashomoy. So when we last left off, you were talking about just learning that you passed for the Queen's School. You came to Queen's, and for the first couple of years, you were teased a little. So let's go from there. What was your life like at Queen's? So we heard about the teasing in the first 3 years or so. What happened when you reached like 4th and 5th form? What happened?
So in 4th form, that's when I just bust.
You just bust.
Yeah. So it was Eisteddfod speech.
Explain to our viewers what is Eisteddfod.
So Eisteddfod is a competition for your house to get points. And the different categories are speech, drama, the food, culinary, yes, and also dance and music. So I was in the speech. Mr. Ennis was one of the teachers for Elizabeth House.
So you were in Elizabeth House?
Yes.
Yay, Elizabeth!
I was the house captain in
Okay.
5th form. And Mr. Ennis was asking me, do you have any poems can put for the speech? And I said, yes, sir, but I don't know if I want to do it. I was shy. And then I did the poetry at Eisteddfod, and everybody was like, wow! And I came first. Yes, I came first. And Mr. Shaw was the drummer. And he said, the only way you make a beat the drum phase if you're going to perform it at JCDC.
Festival time!
Yes. And then a couple months after, I went to JCDC. And it was quite an experience. The judges were far, and I have to project my voice so that everyone could hear me. I got hoarse after that, and I got a pep talk from one of the judges that when I am performing, I should breathe through my nose and not my... I should breathe through my nose and not through my mouth. And that is quite an experience because the way I exercise that is by laying on my back and doing my poems.
Oh, wonderful. So in 4th form, you went to your first JCDC dance, competition, sorry. And you did that every year after?
Yes, miss.
And how many awards have you won for the Queen's School?
Wow. I think it's over 10.
Wow, gold, silver, bronze, certificates, or everything, or all of the above?
It was only gold and silver. A lot of golds though.
You said like it's not an achievement, you said it was only gold and silver. Gold is the top prize,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So how did that make you feel?
I felt exuberant.
I love that word, exuberant. That's a positive word. So, going back and thinking back, so you did your CXCs,
Yes.
you were successful in those.
No, I wasn't successful in all of the subjects, but I was successful for some.
And the sum that you were successful for, you could matriculate to 6th form.
Yes, but I said to myself, no, I want to do back.
You want to do over the subject, so you wanted to repeat.
Yes.
And you are allowed to do that.
Yes, I was allowed to do it here, but I decided to go to Lincoln's Academy to do them, and I got all of them.
Great, good job.
While I was at Lincoln's, I was searching for a job, and it was a bit difficult. So I was working in a bar.
Oh, you actually worked in a bar
Yes,
to help you get a little money so you could buy things for yourself, to maintain yourself.
Yes, miss.
Where were you living at the time?
Portmore.
Well, Ashomoy, so you went to Linton's, you were successful in your CXC subjects there,
Yes, miss.
and what happened next?
So I decided to come back to Queens because I feel like I have a purpose here to fulfill before I matriculate in going into college.
And what was that purpose?
To revamp school spirit.
I love that. That's a positive vibe, to revamp school spirit. So you came back to Queens and you did 2 years of 6th form here.
Yes, miss.
And while in 6th form, what were some of your achievements, your high points?
Okay, I came back as the house captain. I was trying to get to be the student council president in 2019.
So tell us about the presidential campaign.
So while doing that presidential campaign, the candidates were allowed to wear the specific colors for each person, and
Real
then
campaigning.
yes, real campaigning, and the students were gyrating a lot for the whole week.
They were really excited and they were backing you 100%.
Yes.
Okay.
So on the day of the speech,
The speech.
Yes.
All right. Mm-hmm.
on the day of the
So
speech,
every candidate had to make a speech.
yes,
Wonderful. Mm-hmm.
I went by the rules, and I got some campaign persons with me, but they were mostly tunic girls.
Yeah.
Cause you know
Okay.
them love me more. Yeah.
Okay.
love
The
me.
lower school students look up to you more. All right. Yeah.
So while doing it, play a two tune, everybody start going.
What kind of tune you play for the people that campaign? In the people them speech.
Style G, bad man out and stuff.
So you're the bad man out and stunting.
Yes.
All right.
While doing it, everybody was just, it was like a party, because while I came, when I came out on the platform, everyone was in blue, and I was like, so what about other people?
But that's good, because that means that you had the vote of the masses,
Yes.
right? They felt what you were campaigning for. They believed in whatever you were campaigning for, and you were campaigning for school spirit, to bring a oneness to the school. And that's what we like. That's the positivity that we're talking about. Did you win that election based on that speech and presentation?
Yes, miss, I know I won.
You knew you won from before the votes were counted up.
Yes, miss.
And that's what we're talking about, that type of self-confidence. Ashomoy, what is your passion and what is your future, your goals for your future?
So my passion is doing the poem. The reason for that is because it allows me to vent.
Yes.
It's like my venting, because I have anger
That's what all of us
inside
do.
of me because
All of us
of
do.
what I'm going
Yeah.
through. So it allows me to vent and I write.
And you write and you perform.
Yes, miss.
And so all of that emotion comes out into your performance,
Yes.
which is always a good gold medal performance.
Yes, miss.
Thanks, Ashomoy. So Ashomoy, we spoke about your passion, we spoke about your experience to the Queen's School while at the Queen's School. I want to know now, what are your goals? Or goal, if it's just one big one.
Okay, so my goal is to be a medical doctor.
Nice.
Yes,
All right, and one thing, because we want to get personal. What was your most favorite experience here at the Queen's School?
The electoral speech.
The electoral speech.
Yes, miss.
All right, so that must have been a favorite, an all-around favorite for everybody, including yourself. That must have been a great speech. Maybe we can show a clip of it during this program.
Yes, miss.
Thank you, Ashomoy. Last thing, one positive note to our viewers.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would love for you not to listen to myopic-minded persons, because they will bring down your personal interest for certain things in life. So please do not listen to those people, especially your family members, because they will really bring you down. And please do wear your mask.
Thank you, Ashomoy. You just heard from Ashomoy Blair, a past student of the Queen's School, a positive queen of the Queen's School. So, to take us out this afternoon, Ashomoy is going to do a little piece for us. But thank you for staying tuned in to Positive by the Queen's School. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you all for the next episode.
shot. Jamaica fluid. It's a heritage of fluid. Check out. Jamaica fluid. The English that control. No more slave. Jamaica fluid. We heroes them fight for it. Jamaica fluid. Run come celebrate. When you see tracks, become athletes them like Coach Elian and all of them. We are man, we don't put a number. Them people like the East something hot. And you see cricket, we no ramp with the bat. Who's that two ball and tell them boy that taking the racket. You do a Bob Marley talk. Oh, that's all. It's how we started. From the river to the bank and start with it. From the river to the bank and start with it. Road the boat, we can cross it to the world. Saltfish, how we national dish. Pull out with beer, cheese, butter, and never fat, rice and peas, curry goat, muscat, roast breadfruit, salad, one festival, jerky king, and I love eat Jamaican food so sweet. Yeah man, we have to big up we culture. Take me advice anytime you retire. No matter if yard and go abroad, go on the beach, jump in a wetsuit, cut up your foot, chat patwa and enjoy the sea. Jamaica fluid. It's a heritage of fluid. Check out this. Jamaica fluid. The English no control. No more slave. Jamaica fluid. We heroes them fight for it. Jamaica fluid. Run come celebrate. Run come celebrate. Run come celebrate with me.
Ashomoy Blair, one of the queens from the Queen's School, a past student now, but obviously a positive influencer in our society. Thank you, Ashomoy. And to our positive viewers out there, remember to subscribe and comment. Stay positive.